So in this video, we're going to be diving deep into one of our current client campaigns. And over the past couple of months, we've taken this client from their campaign performing absolutely horribly. It only booked one qualified appointment in month one to fast forward 3 months, and we've booked 15 or 16 appointments this month so far. It's only the 27th of the month, so we have a couple more days to finalize things. But that's essentially a 15x improvement in results in 90 days. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the entire process of what we did, how we improved it, what the issues were before, the specific tactical steps that anyone can take and apply within their own campaigns. This is a commercial lending client, so they help companies that need vehicles for commercial purposes, limo operators, black vans, black cars, sprinters, funeral homes, et cetera, et cetera. But first of all, who am I? Well, my name is Alan Woods. I'm the owner of Woods Ascension, and we've driven over $26 million in results for just one of our legacy clients. We have that video right here. That's not what this video is about, but we've driven a lot of results over the past 8 years. So again, this specific video, this specific client, they had a terrible first month, absolutely terrible. We sent 17,000 emails in month one, which I'm going to break down a little bit. And we only booked one qualified appointment. So one qualified appointment per every 17,000 emails was our ratio, which is, it's atrocious. Now, again, fast forward to now, and it's now March 27th. So the 27th day of the month. And these numbers right here are a little bit, they're from like 4 or 5 days ago, but as of right now, we have now booked them 16 or 17 appointments this month. 14 or 15 of those are qualified, and it's from having sent fewer emails than we did in month one. Okay, so again, I'll explain exactly what went wrong, what we fixed, the exact numbers. I'll show you the proof of all of this in a bit. By the way, if you're watching this because you received one of my cold emails and you're a part of our outreach, this video is going to show you how the system works in action, okay? And you watching this is kind of evidence of the system working in action. So let's dive in, shall we? So first, the client and their offer. Quick context, they are a commercial vehicle funding company. They fund specifically between the funding range of $35,000 to $500,000. Based on the specific business, the industry, the number of vehicles that the person is trying to get, and what kind of differentiates them from most lenders out there. What differentiates them from the typical bank is that they specialize in funding commercial vehicles, and also that they can fund in 2 to 4 days. So if I'm a limo company and I need a vehicle now because my vehicle is broken down, whereas a bank might take 2 to 4 weeks to do that, my client can do it in 2 to 4 days. So why did we choose to do cold email outreach on their behalf? Well, the reason is because their prospects are fleet operators and they're running businesses. And oftentimes these operators, they're not actively searching Google for financing, and we have to hunt them down. The issue with ads, Google ads, Meta ads, et cetera, is that we can't achieve the same level of decision maker specificity that we can attain with cold email outreach. What do I mean by that? Well, 15, 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago rather, with Facebook ads, we had much more precise targeting filters and targeting options. We could target by someone's role at a company. We could target by someone's income level. We could target by what industry they're in. That level of targeting just doesn't exist with ads anymore, but it does exist with cold email. We can target only owners and founders and fleet managers for funeral homes, for limo companies, for non-emergency medical transport companies. And because we're able to target these specific decision makers, it allows the throughput from the actions that we're taking to be a lot higher, okay? And so the goal for them was to drive 3 to 5 closed deals a month from outbound campaigns. That's enough context. Let's dive in. Month one was a it was not so good. So we sent 17,385 emails. This was in January. And I'll show you guys the dashboard in a second. We had 2 appointments booked and only 1 was qualified. Okay, so the ratio there is 1 qualified appointment per every 17,000 emails. It's atrocious. Let me show you guys real quickly. So this is our dashboard in Smart Lead for this specific client. The first month was January. So 17,385 emails, 18 positive replies. Yeah, so this was January. So why did it not work? Why were the results so poor in month 1? Well, the reasons are very simple. Number 1 is that we were using email only, and email is a strong mechanism, of course, but the conversion ratio from email alone it's dropping quite a bit over time. And the reason for that is because there's no moats in place anymore for people who are operating only through email. What do I mean by that? Well, anyone can just sign up for Smart Lead or sign up for Instantly and start blasting 50,000 emails a month later. It's not that difficult. And so when it's so easy to enter the market, you have to do more to stand out. And the issue in month 1 is that we weren't doing calls for this client. We weren't doing outreach texts for this client. And that led to a very poor booking rate. That was issue 1. Issue 2 was that we were giving too slow responses. And by slow in this case, we're only talking about responding 30 to 40 minutes after the person responds positively to our email. So what the flow is that we send a cold outreach message saying something like, hey, we can help you to fund the vehicles that you need within 2 to 4 days. Do you want to hear more? The person responds and they say yes, tell me more. And when they say yes, we weren't responding for 30 to 40 minutes. And the issue there is that people have the attention spans of goldfish nowadays. And if you can't strike them as soon as they show desire, as soon as they show interest, well, then oftentimes the chance is lost. 30 minutes later, an hour later, 2 days later, they're no longer responsive. And so that was another issue. The third issue was low follow-up for each positive lead. So what I mean by that is that when someone responded, that shows that they are very interested, that they're at least semi-interested. And so at that point, it's our job as as a strategical operator to hammer them until they either say yes or they say, leave me alone. But at this point in time in January, we were only sending about 3 to 5 messages once someone responded positively to us. And that it simply wasn't enough touch points, especially combined with the fact that it was mainly focused only on email. The fourth issue was that we weren't sending enough value. Okay. The reason for this is that we were trying to target only the decision maker emails. And what I mean by that is that we only were using the emails that were, for example, Alan Woods at towingcompany.com or Joe Bob at limocompany.com. But if the email was info at limocompany.com or support at limocompany.com, we weren't targeting those because our logic initially was that, oh, these info at emails and these support at emails aren't as high quality. They're not guaranteed to be the decision maker. And the issue there is that we were destroying our TAM, our total addressable market, our total potential audience we were only reaching about 20% of the market that's out there. And the fact of the matter is that with these small local businesses, limo companies, funeral homes, non-emergency medical transport companies that are more local, if you're hitting the info at or the support at emails, you are talking to the owner. You are talking to the operator. So they're one and the same. And because of all these issues, we were having some rough results. But it wasn't because of the emails. It was because of everything else in the system that just wasn't in place. Okay. And so what we changed, well, a couple lessons were learned from month one. The first lesson is that email leads to the response. It leads to a reply. But the first 10 minutes after the reply is what actually drives revenue. So what we implemented was, number one, immediate calls. Because again, emails are great, but there is nothing like getting someone on the phone within, imagine this. I send you an email saying, hey, we can help you to fix your problem. And you send an email back saying, okay, tell me more. And 30 seconds later, you get a call from me and I'm like, hey, let's talk about your problem. You're going to be like, bro, these guys, they're professional. They are on point. Like, I don't even know what they're trying to offer me, but goodness, they are on point. And that's the thing. When you can immediately jump into their world as soon as they show interest, it completely changes the dynamic. Again, because of the fact that people are exposed to like 5,000 advertising messages every single day, because of that, people are distracted. And there is nothing better than slicing into their attention frame and grabbing their focus, grabbing their attention. And calls are the way to do that. We added a system where for every single positive response, we call them back and book them into a call, or at least attempt to book them into an appointment within 5 to 15 minutes. This was the most drastic change. Number two was text follow-up. So how our flow works is someone responds positively, and then from there, we call them. If they don't pick up, we text them, and then we email them, all within 15 minutes of them responding positive, okay? The third thing was speed. So before we were focusing too much on trying to customize each and every message and going to the prospect's website and getting information from there. Oh, he's in this city. Oh, he did this in 1982. And all this small stuff, it doesn't matter. What they care about is, what do you offer? Does what you offer fix my problem? That's what you have to templatize everything around. So by cutting out all of the silliness and focusing on what matters to them, which is their pain, their problem, it allowed us to stop making these super custom messages each and every time that take 30 minutes and instead respond quickly, call quickly, text quickly, get them while they're hot. And that completely changed the results. And number four is structured follow-up. So for every lead that comes in, we have a 10-day structured follow-up process where every single day we're hitting them with something, whether it be through email, text, or call. 5 is audience testing plus volume expansion. Initially, we were only targeting funeral homes and limo operators. And we realized that there's so many other audiences that we can target for this same offer that all share the same pain of not having access to funding for the vehicles they need. We could target towing companies. We could target non-emergency medical transport companies. There's so many companies. And more audiences meant that we had more volume, which meant that we had more data on what actually works, which meant that we had higher performance from sending the same amount of emails, and like this self-feeding cycle that just compounds into massive results very quickly. So those were the main changes that we made in month after month one rather. And the thing to consider here is that none of these changes are so complicated. These are all quite simple in and of themselves, but doing each of these changes every single day and consistently abiding by them, that's the hard part. And most agencies don't do these things, which is why most agencies get terrible results with cold outreach. And it pains me a bit because I have talked with many commercial lenders. I've talked with many M&A advisors. I've talked with many companies who are a bit fed up with cold outreach and like, oh, cold email doesn't work. We hired this person in this company. And we've tried it 3 times and it has never worked. Either we get no leads or the leads suck, and then we ask for a refund and we can't get a refund. They hate it. And it's not that cold email is broken. It's that the way that they are operating the system is broken. There's people who lose a lot of money in real estate or in the stock market. But you can't tell me that real estate and the stock market are broken. It's about the systems you have in place. Okay? So let's continue. What are some of these systems, Alan? Well, one of the issues that nobody really talks about, because everybody tries to act like they're perfect in this space, and they don't talk about the fact that issues do arise. One of the issues is deliverability blowups. So, for example, just earlier this month, actually, we were testing out some different mechanisms to allow us to provide lower cost infrastructure for our clients, a part of our R&D spending process to get them better results. But as a part of that, so when you're doing these email outreach campaigns, you have to send out a lot of emails, and Microsoft Outlook accounts cost money every month, and so do Google Workspace accounts. And so we were looking for ways to cut down these prices, and we bought some SMTP inboxes from a platform that we're not going to name because they're trash. But what we noticed is that our bounce rate, which is when an email gets sent out and the email service provider says, oh, this email doesn't exist, that rate jumped to 4.3% overnight. The issue here is that if your bounce rate goes up, Google and Microsoft don't trust you anymore, so your emails start going to spam. And so I'll show you guys the dashboard really quickly, because this is like the things that you have to be aware of, that most agencies eventually run into at some point, but they never talk about. So let me show you guys real quickly. So so this is last week. Right now it's March 27th. This was last week when we were testing these new inboxes. And the bounce rate, it went up to 11%, 10.79% this 1 week. And I was sat there and I was thinking like, yo, what is going on? Because if you look, let me go to the week. Okay, so let's go to this week. So this week we have fixed it, and the bounce rate is 0.5%. This is a healthy bounce rate. But last week it was 11%. And it was because we were testing out these new inboxes, and 90% of our infrastructure had a 0 to 1% bounce rate. But because we were testing these new inboxes, it led to this. And the issue is that if you're working with an agency, they may be only using inboxes like this. They may be trying to cut cost. And so all of your emails are bouncing and ending up in spam. Okay? These are things to consider. We quickly diagnosed it. We paused those inboxes. We deleted them actually, and we got replacements using the proper infrastructure. We had to, throughout this campaign, we've had to get rid of one of our hires and train up somebody else on our team. The fact of the matter is that there are going to be issues with cold email. It's just a fact of life. There's going to be issues with YouTube if you're using YouTube to drive results, to drive appointments for your business. There's going to be issues with ads if you're using ads as a main tool to drive results and appointments for your business. There's issues with everything. Nobody talks about this, but you have to take all things into fair account here. And the fact of the matter is that cold email as a mechanism for booking appointments, it creates more inexpensive targeted appointments than any mechanism out there. It's cheaper than ads while producing more targeted leads. And the way that I view this is that these issues that pop up are just the moat that blocks the bad operators from winning in the space. Because you have to do something differently in the cold email world to win. If you're just blasting out emails, 100,000 emails a month, that might have worked in the past, but it doesn't work anymore. You have to do something different. Okay? So I just want to make that very clear. Now, fast forward months 2 and month 3. Month 2, February, we sent 44,000 emails. I'll show you guys real quickly. February, boom, 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 for this client. 44,000 emails. Bounce rate was 1%. We had 41 positive replies. Out of those positive replies, we had 8 booked appointments. And out of those 8 booked appointments, we had 6 qualified appointments. The main changes in February, we hadn't added too many calls yet. We were doing a few here and there, but it was inconsistent. It wasn't systemized yet. But the main changes in month 2 were higher volume, but also faster follow-up. And we also added in texting and not just emails. And now fast forward to March. It's March 27th now. When I made this free form whiteboard, we had sent 16,000 emails, but these results are a bit dated because we're up to 17 appointments, which I'll show you guys in a second. So here, let me just show you guys the live results actually. So, boom, boom, boom. So we've sent 23,000 emails in March. 23,000 emails in March. We have gotten 45 positive replies. Out of those positive replies, we have booked 17 appointments, and 13 of those have been qualified. Okay. And so that is, we went from a booking rate of 8,692 emails being needed in month 1 to book a single appointment, not a qualified appointment, just an appointment, to now in month 3 only sending 1,295 emails for each booked appointment. So that's a 6.7x improvement in 3 months. Number 2 is that we went from a positive reply to booking ratio of 11.8% in January to 37.1% in month 3. So that means that whenever a positive reply came in January, only 11% of the time did it convert into an actual booked appointment in January. Whereas now, because we've added in texting, immediate calls, in 10 days of follow-up, it has now raised to a 37.1% conversion rate from positive response to booked appointments. So it's a 3x plus improvement. And this is even higher now because this was made a few days ago, but like since then it's only gotten better. So I'll share our iMessage chat with the client really quickly so that you can see the results. I'm gonna have to blur out so much of this for client privacy, but I have time for it. My assistant can handle it. So yesterday, booked appointment. He has 3 cars currently, looking to replace one of them. Yesterday, another booked appointment. This is my client telling me that, giving me feedback on one of the other appointments. This is from Tuesday, so 3 days ago, booked appointment. We had a conference call. This is going back to last week. So Tuesday, March 17th, 10 days ago, booked appointment. Booked appointment. Booked appointment, March 13th. The client saying that the lead was good. Booked appointment. Client saying that the lead was great. Booked appointment, March 11th. Booked appointment, March 11th. Booked appointment, March 10th. Booked appointment, these are March 11th. So 5 booked appointments on March 11th. So that's enough of, sharing the results. But I just want to show you guys that this is all like this is real. This isn't just mumbo jumbo BS. So what's next from here? Well, month 3, again, these are stale numbers from a few days ago, but month 3 has been 13 qualified appointments from 23,000 emails and 17 booked appointments. 13 qualified, 17 booked. Again, from the numbers from a few days ago, not the current numbers, with just 9 qualified appointments, that's 16,000 in expected profit for this client based on their typical closing rates. And now that we have proven proof of concept with them and they're very confident in the process, now we scale this to 3x the volume. So we're going to send 50,000 to 70,000 emails in April, and we're going to do a case study with the client, like a live interview afterwards. We have a dedicated caller in place who is calling all these leads systematically within minutes of them coming in. She is amazing on the phone, and that's her sole job. So it allows me to guide the strategy, whereas she's a killer. Okay. And so if you're watching this because my emails pulled you here, now you know a little bit about the system behind what we're doing. And this is the same system that we would build on your behalf if we work together. So if you are at all intrigued by this, I would be happy to hop on a call with you and walk you through the system and hear about the specifics of who you are trying to target with your business, what your offer is, what your current approach is for attracting more clients. And from looking at all that, it'll give me an idea of if this is a good fit, if we can help you, what the ROI would actually be for you, and basically if it makes sense. So if you would like that, click the link down below and book a call. Again, no pitch. I have no incentive to try to hard sell you because we have a refund guarantee in place if we don't drive results. So we only take sure bets that we're sure that we can win. So if you want help, book call down below. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was valuable for you, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.